Hello. In the UK, we have an application which is basically a gang stalking application. It's an app for your phone, and any business can sign up to it. You can be a small business, you can be a large business, you can be a market stall. You can be an ordinary citizen. If you pay your money, you can get the app. And the app comes under various names. There are many, many different apps, presumably to get more money. Why buy the same thing twice, Why buy... so you have such things as Shop Watch, you have Town Watch, you have Pub Watch, of course we have the original Neighbourhood Watch, and you even have such things as Foyer Watch, to watch in the foyers of flats. Forecourt Watch, that's right, Farm Watch, and a lot of very big corporations use these, and very big stores such as the chain stores, River Island, Sainsbury's, Tesco, Home Bargains, all the big stores. And on the surface they sound like a really good idea. Somebody steals something or causes a disturbance in your store, the photograph goes on this application, it's sent out to all the stores. No, that is not just how it works. The people that are put on these, for instance, they have a photograph of you or a video or any intel, doesn't have to have committed a crime. You do not have to be a shoplifter. You do not have to have caused a disturbance in a store. Anybody. This is legal because it works under common law. It doesn't work under the system, the law system, legal system. It works under common law. Just like you can bitch about somebody behind the back, It's common law. And that's what this abuse is, this gang stalking app, where anybody can be put on it, any photo, any intel about the person, and anything can be made up because it's all hearsay. And it can be forwarded to anybody who's got the app. And it's mainly for people that are considered a nuisance, either a nuisance in stores, a nuisance in the community, people that have been violent, or they've just been let out of prison, or something really bad like they're a paedophile, or I don't know, they're causing trouble, they're aggressive begging or something. These sort of people will be put on this, but also anybody that is classed as a nuisance. Now, what is a nuisance? What is the definition of a nuisance in your community? You could be a nuisance for answering somebody back. If you want an example of how the community notification, and that was sent by computer and by letter, that's the old way of doing it, that's still in place, but you now have an app which has been going for some time, which is more immediate and has photographs of the people or intel, videos or whatever. So you don't just have this warning like this is a person, they might be violent or they might be aggressive or whatever, look out for them if they come in your store. It's much deeper than that, and it's going to take some stretch of the imagination from what I'm going to tell you that this can actually go on, but it does. The applications all have message boards. You do not have to be a business, as I've said, to get these apps. Anybody can get them. As long as you pay your money, you get your product. And once a person is on there, you have a message board. You can text and send pictures to all the other people that have signed up to that app. For instance, say it's Shop Watch, okay? You have a picture of a person that is a nuisance in your community. Example, inverted commas. And you can not only send that picture to everybody that's signed up to that app, but you can also add your own intel, such as when the last time the person was in your store, how they behaved in your store, what they was wearing, what you said to them, what somebody else said. You can actually post that on a message board, and you can also actually send that to everybody. This is real. Check it out. And it's operated by a company called SchemeLink. The police role in this is the police have their own notifications, and they also have a great deal of say in who they put on this Shop Watch, pub watch, whatever. Violent people just out of prison, paedophiles in the area, anything like that. They put a pit. They can. I'm not saying they do. They can. This is the liberty they have. To put a picture of that person and send it out to all the shops, pubs, everywhere. The police have got all these apps. They send it to everything, right? They can do. So that person, it's not going to be any surprise that person is going to get stalked, watched and harassed by complete strangers. And then they're going to look mentally ill if they complain of it. You understand? So then, woof, they're out of it. They're out of the community. It's very, very nasty. This is the first part that I'm going to tell you. The second part will just absolutely astonish you, and you probably won't even believe me. But I'm going to tell you about the first part first. So the police can do that, but as you know, the police are not always kosher. For instance, in my case, they did not get a conviction. And I think some people are very, very angry about that. I really do. But that doesn't stop them, you see, because the people whose intel or photographs or videos are being distributed by these apps to the whole community do not have to have any criminal conviction. They do not, because it's using common law, they do not have to have committed a crime. And the police, as they gather lots of intel, not just in investigating crimes, common intel, such as they might have a discussion with a stranger, that goes into their intel. They have huge databases, banks of information on people that haven't committed any crimes, but may be useful in the future, yeah? In case they need to question them or find out about something. And as we all know, certain members of the police force are very corrupt, especially if they don't get a conviction. They look like they've got egg on their face. So they could easily, especially if they're involved in drugs as well, and they're dealing with criminals, and a lot, again, this is a big subject, a lot of the targeted individuals, gang stalking stories are where there has been police involvement with criminals. They're getting criminals to do things. They've got them over a barrel, if you like. The criminals are compromised. And I've noticed that in my own stalking. And I've found that most people that are being subjected to this harassment and stalking have had some kind of dealings with either the police or councils or, you know, large corporations. So back to these gang stalking apps. I'd like to reiterate and emphasise that a person whose intel, photograph, video, information is put on these apps does not have to have committed any crime. They just have to have been said by one person that they are a nuisance. And obviously that can build. But the police, they can put stuff, and if the police put stuff, obviously everybody's going to believe it, whether it's true or not. And that is the first stage of this. That is the first stage. The second stage is, what are those shops, pubs, stores? And I'll come to this later. It's very hard to believe, but it's true. Town centres and streets. Okay, I'll address the pubs, shops and stores first. What are they going to do? Are they just going to look at all the people on their apps, distribute it to staff, start bitching about the person? And what are they going to do? They're not going to want them in the store, are they? Yeah? They're creating a pariah. They're creating an outcast, a social outcast, ostracising them on the strength of this app and the intel in this app. What are they going to do? Well, in my experience, and this may, if you gang stalked, if you're a targeted individual, this may open your eyes and you may think, if you're not a targeted individual, you may find this extremely hard to believe. The stores use intel gathered on a person that is considered very, very bad and that's been put on this list. They use the intel they have to persecute, gang stalk and harass that person with police involvement to not go in their store anymore. For instance, a certain sensitization that a target has been sensitized to by it being done over and over again, like the creation of a trigger, could be a word, could be somebody just going like this, tapping the knuckles or fingernails in my case on a desk or something. They could just do that every single time the person comes in the store, but it's much more sinister than that. They are using transmissions, possibly through the PA systems of the store, to transmit the offensive intelligence to the targeted individual as a form of behaviour modification, creating, if you like, a prison, so that that person can't go in there, they can't go in there, to stop them from going in there. In my situation, if you've read all my other, if you've listened to my other stuff, you'll know that they used the name of my cat, which was murdered, that songs were made out of that, and they use those when I go in certain public places in order for me to make it unpleasant for me. You understand? You know, how nice of them to do that. You know, you've done this especially for me. I'm afraid so. You think, no, they wouldn't go to that extreme. I think it's been tested out. I really do, as a form of, they don't want to put people away. They don't want, I mean, I haven't committed any crime. I've committed no crime whatsoever. I've not got a criminal record, but that's another story, which I do tell on 2 of my other audios, and how I've been set up, and my records have been changed. But I will. You can listen to that on my other audios. This is about the gang stalking apps. So in order to stop those undesirables or potentially violent people or nuisances of the community going in their stores or pubs or bars, not only are they watched, but they are basically straightforward abused. They will have gang stalkers going in there that are a part of this app ring. Not necessarily the owners of the shop or the pub, but people that I believe, criminals that I believe are in the employ of the police or compromised by the police, will go in there and they will play on their phones the sensitizations, or they will have the conversations or whatever. And in the case of some of the larger stores, I have actually heard things coming through the actual PAs of the stores.